Generate sources. Hi, I'm Carla McCarty, and welcome back to my channel, Miss AI Teacher, where I help busy educators use AI tools like ChatGPT to work smarter, plan faster, and reclaim their time without losing your individuality or creativity. Today, I'm giving you a sneak peek at 3 AI tools I use all the time in my classroom to save time, create engaging materials, and make teaching a little less stressful. The first is ChatGPT, my go to starting point for almost everything from lesson planning to worksheet creation. I use it as a foundation for a lot of what I make and often combine what I generate with ChatGPT with other tools. Next is Gamma, which helps me turn that content into clean, professional looking presentations fast. No design skills needed, just great visuals for mini lessons and content delivery. And finally, Diffit, a tool I use to create custom questions and vocabulary activities for YouTube videos and articles. I just drop in a link and it gives me ready to use materials in different formats, perfect for differentiation. In this video, I'll give you a quick overview of how I use each of these tools in my classroom. In future videos, I'll take a deeper dive into step-by-step tutorials and practical tips for using each one. But for now, here's a look at how they fit into my everyday teaching routine. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I will be showing you is some of the units and corresponding lessons and worksheets that I created using ChatGPT. I have a ChatGPT video that shows you a little bit how to do things with ChatGPT, and I will go further into that later, but this is just to show you some things that I created and how I created them. One of the things I did last summer was teach an African American lit class. It was my first time teaching an African American literature class in high school. I had done it in college long time ago, but that's been like years that I had done that. And so I wanted an idea of what I should do in the course, how to structure the course, what things I could work on. So I started a chat. I said create an African American literature course for junior, senior high school students for quarter 1, 10 weeks that includes short stories, poems, and maybe a novel, maybe based on eras. I wasn't sure how to structure it. I had looked at some stuff on Google and I saw a lot of people had things structured by eras. So it responded by giving me gives me a course overview. This course explores African American literature through various eras, examining the evolution of themes, styles, and cultural significance. This is something that you could use in a syllabus or course description that you might need. Introduction to African American Literature, the objectives. It gives you readings. The Negro Speaks of Rivers by Langston Hughes, Harlem, Slavery, Antebellum South. Down. I'm going to kind of scroll through it quickly. If you want to slow it down to read some of the things that are on here, can do that as well. I did not end up using this, although I felt like this was very good. I thought that I needed to start with something that was a little more current day to kind of get them invested in it. What I ended up doing is starting with a lot of spoken word because I felt like that would get them invested. I teach in an IB school, International Baccalaureate School, and so I needed something for my syllabus. So I had it create a course overview for IBDP students for the syllabus. I didn't give it any specific directives for my course in particular. I just told it to give me something so I could get an idea. And then I could use that idea on the syllabi that our school uses. Overviews tend to be 2 paragraphs long, so I had to change that. Then I realized it was giving me something for TOK and other things that are in IB that weren't for my course, which is English Language Lit. So I had to restructure it, and that is the one that I ended up using on my syllabus. We also analyzed David G. Brown's political cartoons. So I started out having it create a unit name with guiding questions and a brief description for IBDPSL. That's a lot of acronyms. IB, International Baccalaureate Diploma Program, standard level. There's standard level and higher level for those who don't teach IB. And I was doing this for a standard level senior class syllabus that will focus on analyzing political cartoons of David G. Brown. And so it gives me the unit name, Coding Power, Analyzing David G. Brown's Political Cartoons. And it gives me the description, again, if you want to slow it down to look at it. Then I said, make the title more general, not based on specific text to be studied, just the themes to be studied through analysis of political cartoons. So it changed it to Power, Satire, and Society, Analyzing Political Cartoons with some guided questions, and it gives a brief description. And I liked that and ended up using that. Sula, I did end up teaching, and I had to give me extensive things on Sula, create a unit name with guiding questions and a brief description for IBDP SL senior class syllabus that will focus on analyzing literary genre body of work Sula. Create a list of possible lenses to analyze the text through. Yes, I ended in a preposition, but all right. The unit name, Exploring Identity and Society through Toni Morrison's Sula, Guiding Questions. How does Morrison use literary techniques to develop theme and identity in Sula? And what way does Sula reflect or challenge societal norms and values at the time? I'll let you all read this. It gives me possible lenses for analysis: a feminist lens, a post-colonial lens, psychological lens, historical lens, sociological lens, and eco-critical lens. I chose to make the title more general through a feminist lens, so gender and identity in Toni Morrison Sula, more theme-based without the use of the book's title. I instructed it. Unit name, Navigating Identity and Gender in Contemporary Narratives. In the following description, add the analysis will be through a feminist lens. So it gives a brief description there. Make the guiding questions more theme-based instead of book-based. So how do literary texts portray the construction and evolution of identity, particularly with gender? And it asks questions of that nature. I also was doing Shakespeare with my freshmen. We were going to have a free field trip for the students to go and see A Midsummer Night's Dream. And so, of course, I had to make sure that I taught it. So I have create a unit name with guiding questions and a brief description for an IB, International Baccalaureate, MYP. This is the freshman sophomore freshman class syllabus that will focus on analyzing the Midsummer Night's Dream. Create a list of possible lenses to analyze the text through. So the same thing that I did for Sula, I just did it for A Midsummer Night's Dream. And it gave me a unit title, Exploring Shakespeare's World, Analyzing A Midsummer Night's Dream, with a brief unit description. It gives me guiding questions. What are central themes of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and how do they reflect the social and cultural historical context of Shakespeare's times? How does Shakespeare use language and literary devices to convey meaning in a play? Several different ways. And it also gives me lenses to analyze things through. It actually gives me some of the same lenses it gave me in Sula, but adds a couple other different ones. Then I instructed it to give me a more complex title. It said Interpreting Shakespeare's Enchanted Realm, a multifaceted analysis of A Midsummer Night's Dream. So what I do is I take all of this stuff that I'm giving, and we have to turn unit plans. And once I find what I like, I copy and paste it onto the form that we have to use. Well, I ended up not being able to go into as much detail with A Midsummer Night's Dream with my class. I wanted them to understand the play, but it was off topic of the other things that I was doing. And what I needed was a quick way to introduce Midsummer Night's Dream to my students. So I had it create a slideshow preparing students to see A Midsummer Night's Dream who haven't read the play yet. I knew that didn't have time to read the whole play. So I had it create all of these slides. At this point, it was doing things like it would make the PowerPoint for me, but the PowerPoint it gave me was just very, very dry. It basically gave me slides that said exactly what is being said here on a regular slideshow. This is where my next tool comes into play. Gamma. Gamma is an amazing tool that helps you create slideshows that look spectacular, professionally done in minutes. I'll show you my Midsummer Night's Dream. So this is what it created. Now I'm going to tell you again, those teachers who are worried that they're going to lose their creativity, it did not create this. I'm going to show you the previous version, but I added all of these pictures, and I'll show you the original version it gave me and how I changed it. But these are all AI generated images. Talked about what the play was about, major themes, and I went through this slideshow with my students. I'm going to show you the original version that it gave me, because you can go back and look at the previous versions. You go here to version history. You can just like with Google Docs and things, you can always restore original versions. This is what it gave me when I first typed in, I need an introduction to A Midsummer Night's Dream. I had used the information that I had gotten from ChatGPT, and I had put it into, you can put in a slideshow. And originally it gave me this. I didn't like this at all because it was too cartoonish for me, even for freshmen. And I didn't like the way some of the slides were set up. I didn't like most of these pictures here. I just went through and I quickly changed the pictures. There are a lot of revision histories. Mind you, though, look how quick they are. For these all happened within a minute. So even though it seems like there's a lot, it didn't take very long for me to make these changes. I'll show you on different versions how you change the pictures. It's just really simple, and I'm going to take you to a later version in. I started changing these. I told it I wanted more realistic versions. What I got. Some of these pictures I chose, some of them are still AI created by Gamma, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to change. Say I wanted to change this, I can either right click it and it'll say edit image, and you can press edit image and it'll give me different image choices, and it gives you a prompt. On this prompt, this is how it tells you it's going to set it up. You can then choose the type of art style. Do you want it photorealistic, illustration, abstract, line art, 3D? And then you can customize it. You can say whether you want it portrait or landscape or square. There's all of these different ways. And I'm going to briefly show you how quickly it does one. So let's go to the home screen and create new. I'm going to do just generate. I'm going to be doing Handmaid's Tale with my sophomores this year. So I'm going to just tell it to create an intro slide show for high school sophomores about a handmaid's tale. Include the slides. So I have created an intro slideshow for high school sophomores about a handmaid's tale. Include a slide about the author. I want it to be a presentation because you can make a web page, a document, or a social media post. And I'll press generate outline. And it's telling you a little bit about what it's going to give you. You can do a little bit of kind of changing what you want here, but I would suggest you just wait until it makes the slideshow because it goes into much more detail. It's not going to just print this onto the slide. So it's 10 slides or cards as they call it, and I'll press generate. And it gives you this set of slideshow, and it just, you see how fast it's creating it. Again, it gave you an outline. What it gave you initially was just an outline. It was not what the slides were going to look like. So that's why I said wait until you actually see what the slides look like before you go ahead and decide whether you want to make any adjustments. And you see how quickly it's making it. I'm not speeding this up at all. Now, I know one thing I will be changing is this color. I don't like the color. You can change all that later. I mean, we have teachers pay teachers and other things where you can get like slideshows that are already created. But even that, you think, oh, well, I can just go to teachers pay teachers. You still then have to go look. You have to open it up. You have to go look and see if that is something that you like from the example or from the sample that they show you. And I've done that several times where the sample looks great. And what they did is they gave you the best things on the sample and everything else that came with it was awful. Not to mention at the end of it, you still have to pay. And I am all for giving my teachers, I'm all for giving my teachers some extra funds, but if I can do some of this stuff myself without having to go buy something else without having to go buy something else, which may or may not be customizable. If you see a little where I didn't speed this up, this is how long it's taking. But my cats keep meowing in the background and I have to pause. So if you see any skips, it's me skipping. Okay, so this is what it created. Let's start at the beginning and show what it's creating. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm already going to change the theme. I don't like this color, so I'm definitely going to be changing it. These are AI generated images that it creates. Color and symbolism, red. It's, I mean, I'm just excited about this. Now, this is not Margaret Atwood, so I would have to go and find a real picture of her. But this is what it created for me. In that brief amount of time, it created an entire slideshow. Now, I want to change the theme. I think I would like something that's red. That's got a little red in it. Let's try this. All right, so I changed the theme into something that was more red. I like that better. I don't like this image here. I have no idea why it's there. So I double clicked, edit image. Right now it's choosing from AI images. It gave something that has nothing to do with The Handmaid's Tale. So I'm going to change it to web image search and see if I can find something that I like. And I have found several ones that I like. Oh, which one shall I choose? I want to go with something where the students would immediately be interested. I don't want it to look like the movie necessarily. I'll try this one. But what I want is just this top part here. So I want to change the focus point of the image to be further up. I don't want any of that bottom part to be shown. And so let's say reset it and let's see how that does. Now that is wonderful. This is going to start them wondering what's going on. Now let's read what it wrote. Welcome to our exploration of Margaret Atwood's powerful dystopian novel, The Handmaid's Tale, first published in 1985. This compelling story takes place in the near future totalitarian society of Gilead. Now, that has a whole bunch of words in it that I'm thinking that students may not initially know. We're going to have them reword it. You could change the font. We're going to have them reword it. Simplified language. Welcome to our look at Margaret Atwood's strong dystopian novel, The Handmaid's Tale. Now, what it did is it made it those words. It's still using dystopian, which they might not have gone over yet. Handmaid's Tale, first released in 1985. This powerful story happens in the near future in the strict society of Gilead. And this important book, I want the original back. It's still high school. It's a IB high school. It's those aren't the words that I want to change. How else can I edit? Well, let's see if I make it shorter. I don't, and then we're looking at a slideshow. I'm not going to sit and read this long thing. Welcome to our exploration of Margaret Atwood's influential dystopian novel, Handmaid's Tale, published in 1985. And this compelling story is set in the near totalitarian future of Gilead, widely studied and recently adapted for television. This presentation will examine themes. I'm going to tell it to remove information about the television show. Widely studied, this presentation will examine its themes, characters. Okay, I like that. So I do want to mention that I pay for the subscription for this. The monthly subscription is $8 a month. Without it, you can do these changes, but after a while, you're out of tokens or points, and you have to do stuff or pay stuff or recommend it, the product, to someone else in order for you to get more points. I don't want to do that. I use this for all my slides, introductions now. So it's just worth the $8 a month for me. It's just worth it. There is a free version, but as with all free versions, except for with ChatGPT, there are some extreme limits with the free version that I don't want to kind of have to deal with. So I went ahead and paid for it. So I can do all of these edits and changes without it stopping me and saying you need more credits. But as you can see, that is how you create things and change stuff up to how you want it to be. And this is actually something that I'm going to use in my classroom when I introduce Handmaid's Tale, and I'm going to further detail how I want it done. So just to go back, this is already done. You don't have to press save. It automatically has saved everything. And then after you're done, you can press share. You can export it. You can export it as a PDF. You can export it to PowerPoint. You can export it to Google Slides, or you can export it to PNGs. I typically export it to PowerPoint, even though I use Google Slides with my classroom. But when it's on PowerPoint, it saves to my computer. And then when it's on Google Slides, it saves to my drive. So I always figure if anything ever happens to my drive and I can't have access to anything, I'll still have access to it on the computer. So I just open it up on Google Slides and then convert it to a Google document. The last thing I want to show you is Diffit. I have a paid version of Diffit, but I didn't actually pay for Diffit. They have an option where if you share with a teacher and they sign up, you get a certain amount of time of free use of the pro version. So I did that. Somebody signed up, and I've been able to do that several times so that I haven't had to pay for it. When you start your Diffit, you can say, what are you teaching? Literally anything. You can use text, PDFs, and links, books, vocabulary. One of the things I read with my students is Persepolis. We had to do that. So I found versions where it was read online. So this was just a video of the chapter being read. It gives a summary of the chapter. It gives vocabulary, and it just created this. It gives multiple choice questions. It created short answer questions about the Islamic Revolution. It gave multiple choice question. It was what was the impact of the Islamic Revolution? Think, pair, share. It gives all types of activities. I can add open-ended questions, key vocabulary, character traits. So I'm going to look, say we are reading House on Mango Street, and I am going to make it for ninth grade English. Select a chapter, the first chapter. I'm just going to have it do the first 3 chapters. Now I have it for ninth grade, generate sources. All right, so now it's giving me a breakdown here, summaries. The vocabulary is still a little, like, I don't think we need to know what a landlord is or what rent is or what a basement is. It's giving me those types of things. It's giving me, how did the house on Mango Street differ from the house in her dream? So it's giving me questions. In what ways did the family's previous living situation on Loomis contribute to their desire? Think, pair, share. Say, mean, matter. After reading and marking text, write down quotes that stood out to you, explain what they mean in your own words, then explain why they matter, are important, and are significant. I love it. What they say, what it means, why it matters. Oh my God, I love that. That's new. That's new. That's new. Let's see. Add an activity. Let's try that. I don't even know what I added now. Some questions. All right. Let's add, what is this? ACE short answer, if anybody uses ACE. And now again, I'm just adding, so it didn't take away. Answer, cite, explain. So instructions after reading, answer the following questions using evidence from the text. Use ACE format to ensure you answer the question, include evidence, and explain how the evidence supports your answer. Look at that. And then I can browse more activities. Main idea by paragraph. Visual paragraph by paragraph. Let's see what that does. All right, and it tells you what it's about. Drawing that represents what you read. Explain how it connects to the reading. So if you have people who like to draw, you have that aspect. Now, when you see these little crowns here, this is stuff that you have that is for people who have a plus or whatever they call the subscription that is higher than just their normal free. So say I want to do what is a noun. I'm going to look up a video. I'm going to just choose this one by Free Schools. Now, it does have to have it where there are available closed captions to be able to create it. So I'm going to take this, copy it. So it says preserve original text or put it for ninth grade. I'm going to preserve original text. That was obviously a video for much younger kids, so I'm going to make it for second grade. So generate sources. YouTube links are no longer supported. That is something that is interesting. If YouTube loosens the restrictions, we'll switch to link option back. Get transcript on YouTube. Oh, wow. So YouTube links no longer supported. That is something important to know. So you can get the transcript off of YouTube. It's an extra step now. And I'm glad to know that. Town to show
Finally, there are
transcript.
nouns for ideas. About
Copy the
nouns.
transcript. All right, this is definitely
Nouns
a
are
different
words
step.
that name a person, place,
It's definitely
thing,
going
or
to add
idea.
more time, a little bit more time,
Here are some examples.
but I was
Girl
able to do
and
it.
boy are words that name
The
people.
I put in all
Doctor.
of the,
This
and
artist
the
is a
transcript
penguin.
has to be there anyway. It
Penguin
has
is
to, if it
also a
doesn't,
noun.
if there's no available transcript,
Nouns can
Diffit wouldn't
also
have been
name
able to do
places.
anything with it anyway. You have
Playground
to
and
be able to
park
have a
are nouns
transcript.
that name
So
places.
any video that you would have been
Words
able to
like
drop the link
country
in,
and
you can
state
also
name
copy the
places too.
transcript. All
There are
right, and
many,
so now
many
it's going to
words to
create.
name the things that are around us.
YouTube is like
Anything you can touch,
hunkering
see,
down.
hold,
I don't
or
know why
feel
I
is a
did that.
noun.
Okay. Short answer questions. Example, explain the difference between a common noun and a proper noun and provide the example for each from the reading passage. And of course, I would have to change the video, and you can change it in app, or once you convert this, it counted as a reading passage because it wasn't put in as a video. So I would just change that to video according to the video. And we have it. You might have to change that throughout, but the think, pair, share is read and answer the questions independently, compare your answer with your partners, work together, and prepare what you will share. So I think the question is, the passage explains that nouns can be people, places, or things and ideas. Think about your favorite place to visit. List 3 nouns that you would find there and explain why each is a noun. So you do that first. This is what now your partner, take notes on what your partner's response was, and then you share. So we both found out together in this video that you can no longer just click the link, but obviously they gave you the workaround is just to copy the transcript and put it in, and you still get all of these activity choices, key vocabulary, bubble maps, and then you get to, if you pay for the upgraded version or do other things like share and have people join, you get all of these other options of things. And remember, anything with a crown next to it is their premium. So you get a summary. You can do where they take notes on what was said. You can do main idea by paragraph, where you can have them identify the main idea of that paragraph. Visual summary by paragraph. And you see, a lot of these don't have the crown next to it. Explain and answer, explain multiple choice answers with evidence. So not just answering A, B, C, D, but tell me why. And there's all of these different types of worksheets that you can put in just from one link. Race, short answer question. Racer, short answer question. The 5 W's. There are just options upon options upon options with Diffit. And they keep increasing the options. So although we just learned that there was a little inconvenience that YouTube is now not allowing them to just put the link into it, there is still so much here worth investing in. So, as you can see, there are just so many things that give you back your time. Thank you so much for watching. If this overview gave you some great ideas for using AI in your classroom, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button so that you won't miss the upcoming videos. In future videos, I'll be sharing step-by-step tutorials on each of the tools that I use and how I use them in the classroom, showing you how to utilize them for your classroom as well. If you have any questions or a tool that you want me to try out that you use in your classroom successfully, drop it in the comments and I'll check it out. I'd love to hear how you're using AI in your own teaching. So until next time, work smarter, plan faster, and reclaim your time. See you in the next video.